Hey YouTube, Stretchline Bait and Tackle here, and what I have here is 11 sets of multi-tools that I ordered from Amazon. And what I want to do is I want to open these up and go through them and show them to you. And what I did to select these is my cap was $20, so none of these were more than $20. Actually, I think only one set was $19.99, and most of them were the $12 to $15 range multi-tool set. And I know those of us, as fishermen and kayakers and things like that, these multi-tools are really nice to have in your kayak or in your tackle box. And I have some expensive models. I have two or three personal expensive models that I use, but as far as something that I want to keep in my kayak or just throw in my tackle box, I want a cheaper set that doesn't cost me a whole bunch, and I'd hate to ruin one of my not high quality, but one of my expensive ones by leaving it in the kayak and forgetting it in a rain zone or something like that. But anyway, so as I will get these unboxed, and I'll do what I want to do is a presentation, do an overview of them, and at the down in the description I will list the names and the actual price I paid on Amazon for these. All right, so let me get these unwrapped and we'll get her cooking. Okay, YouTube, I've got these unboxed here, and I want to go through these one by one here, and we'll do an overview of the quality, and I'll do a brief touch on the price, but I will list everything by name and price I paid down in the description. So the first one I have on my list here is the Bangaro Bovigaro. Okay, this is the Bovigaro here. This has a little case with it. Feels almost like Tyvek material. So, and this is the multi-tool itself. And I see some serrated edges here that looks like for gripping. Let's see if I can get this opened up here. Okay, this is the plier part here, and it opens kind of wide, and if you don't have big hands, this might be a little too large for you. I have large hands, I have long fingers, and I can almost palm a basketball, so I have large hands, not wide hands. I have long hands, so this is actually, I think, too wide of a reach here. I think the gap is too much for most people. I would prefer to see a little bit less. But anyway, the overall quality here, the pliers, we got a lot of knives and blades in here. It's like 11 or 12, a little saw, Phillips screwdrivers, corkscrew. Main thing I want to look at is the knife blade. I think that's the thing, that and the pliers are the things that we use the most. This is the knife. It's serrated here, and it's got a little bit of an edge on it. I'm not expecting anything to be too overly sharp on this. So, well, if I can figure out how to close this one here. Where's my catch at on this? Oh, here we go. It's got a release right here for the blade, so it locks in and keeps the knife from folding this. So that's not a bad deal. Pliers aren't super long, a little short, but for carrying the kayak, overall, I mean, I would say that it's not bad. For these are budget prices here, so. All right, so this is the first one. This is the Bovigaro. It's a little stiff and tight. Folds up fairly well. These grips on the outside, I don't know exactly what they're for. It doesn't serve any purpose when they're open. They're on the wrong side for gripping for pliers, but maybe it does. It's not necessarily a file or a rasp. I don't understand the purpose of that, but all right. So that was the first one. That was the Bovigaro. All right, the next one I have is Ozark. Now, Ozark I purchased at Walmart. I did not get this one off Amazon. All the rest I got off Amazon, but I will list the price. And it has a little cheap case here, kind of like made out of Tyvek. You got rubberized handles here. And Ozark, this is one of the cheaper ones here. All right, it's really, oh, all right. That was really stiff and tough to open. Maybe it was just the initial thing, the initial opening, but it looks a little rough. the handles are a little thick. They do have a little bit of rubberized coating on here that keeps it from maybe slipping too much. Now, when your pliers are open, you can't access any of your tool blades here, so you do have to fold it closed. And it snapped in a little bit better that time there. And the main thing I want to look at is the knife blade. This has pretty much all the tools that you would normally get in one. Rasp, screwdriver bits, files, tools like that, normal multi-tool stuff. It does have kind of like a little drop point to it. I don't know. I guess that's more for aesthetics than anything else. Blade seems fairly sharp, so not too bad. This is one of the cheaper ones. I believe this one was like 11 bucks, something like that. So, all right, the next one is the Fang Fo. What is this? Here it is right here. Fang Fo. This is the case itself is really thin. This is definitely like Tyvek. And they are black. It's not rubber. It's just a painted surface here. I got a feeling that the paint would on the metal parts would chip off pretty easy. The thing I don't like, it has this spring right here to spring it open, but I guarantee you this is the first thing that's going to go right here. You won't have a spring for too long. Your knife blades are on the outside, so the pliers have to be open in order to access them. And we'll find a knife blade here. Here we go. They're all black coated here. The knife blade itself is pretty small, and it's not really that sharp. Cut a little, shaved a little bit, but not too much. And the knife is on the out. All your tools are on the outside, so the plier has to be open to access. Personally, I prefer my blades on the inside where the top tool has to be closed to access. That way, when you're using it, you don't have the plier sticking out. But that's just a personal preference here. So, all right, that was the Fang Fo. The next one I have is the Samest. And excuse me if I butcher some of these names here. Let me find it here. Oh, the Samest. Okay. This is the Samest one. And it came with a little survival whistle. And we have got this. Looks very similar to the other one that I did, the Bulgaro. And I imagine a lot of these, they're made by one company and they're just branded a little bit different from the manufacturers. But we'll open this thing up here. All right, now this also has the little spring right there. This, I believe, is a weak spot, but it fits my hand decent. Closing, there's not much action here. You see, my hand is still wide open, so I don't think you're going to get much grip strength with this because the handle is actually too V-shaped, too wide open. So I don't think, personally, I don't like the feel of this in my hand because I feel it's too wide when you're using the pliers. I prefer a closer grip because the tighter your grip, the better you have on it. Then an extended grip, you can't get as much tension on it. So your blades also on this one, your tools and your blades are accessible while it's open. That's another feature. And so this makes this really clumsy to use it as a knife when this is as far as you can get it closed. So personally, I don't really care for this one because of that right there. Everybody's preference is different. This is just my opinion on these here. All these are having these same releases here, and a lot of them are real similar to each other. Some of the basic designs and points are the same. Just a few little things are different. So, all right, that was the Somerset. All right, the next one I have is the Beebury. And let me find this out here. Right here, the Beebury. Now, this one is a little bit different here. The case is not Tyvek. It's more of a canvas here. And you've got your bits here in the case, you've got a standard, two standard, a Phillips, and a Torx. And these may be double-ended. Let me pull them out here. Yes, they are. It's got double sets here. You have actually have a double set of bits here available in that one. It fits right there in the outside case. Now the pliers themselves, these look pretty decent here. It's all metal. It's really thick because this has a lot of tools. I believe this one has a this is a 15-piece tool. The other ones were 11, so this one actually has extra tools here. And let me open her up here. Okay. Do not have an exposed spring. I do like that. I like not having an exposed spring because I guarantee you that, don't like the other ones, that's the first thing you're going to have. It is a little wide, but when you close it, it closes fuller than that last one, and you can get a better, I think you get a better grip on this, and this one has a better feel. The only thing is the handle here for the tools is wider than the other ones, so it is a heavy, it's got a firm, heavy feel in your hand. It fills your hand up. It fills your hand up because of the thickness. So, and what I like is the blades are on the inside. I prefer my blades on the inside, so that way when I close it and you pull it out and you pull your blade out, you've got a more of a functional knife. You don't have the pliers sticking out and the handle wide open. So blade's got a good feel to it. I got the good tool sets here. So I figure out how to close this thing. Okay, it took me a minute on this one here. And then this tool here is actually made in Europe. This is made in Germany and England. So it's maybe that's the reason for a little higher quality. But the release is down here. This button right here, you have to push this to unlock. But it's got a good stiff locking system. And that locking system works for every single of your tools. This is your bit holder here. And it just comes out to a half, but works pretty good. You'd have your bit sticking through here, and you get a plier. So, I mean, action to it. So anyway, it's got the skeletized frame. It's got a lot of tools, a lot of functions. It's heavy. This is pretty heavy in my hand. Being made in Europe, I think I like that a little better than the made in China ones. But anyway, not a bad tool here. I wouldn't. This is one I think I would put in my kayak, just for the reason of it feels a little sturdier, and I have the bits with it. So that's something that I would use a little more often, I think. My next one is the Whirlwill, and I may butcher some of these names here because I'm not the best at pronouncing other names here. No, this is the Whirlwill here, and it comes with, this is a really thin Tyvek case here. This is really thin. You do have a set of bits here. They don't look super durable. They're coated. And here's the tool itself. So the Whirlwill. I'll open this up, and all these are being opened for the first time, so some of them are a little stiff. Okay. This one also has the exposed spring, which I don't like, but the difference is on this one and the other ones, you see the serrated edges here. The other ones were on the inside when you opened it, which was kind of dumb if you ask me. This one puts them on the outside where the purpose is, gives you that non-slip grip. Say you got gloves on or wet hands, that you'll get a better grip with this. It is a little wide, but when you close it, it does close a little fuller than the other ones, and the pliers seem a little bit longer. So this one I think has a better grip, and I like that they have put the edges on the outside. The other ones put them on the inside where they're basically worthless. So I don't know why you would have them on the inside. So all right, pop it around here and get to the knife blade. I'm not opening all the tools in here. I just wanted to do showcase the knives. And it's a little hard to get these out. They're kind of sunk in there a little bit deep, so you got to really get a thumbnail or something in there to pry these out. I don't like that, and the blade is really, really tiny. It's a small knife here, real thin. I could see this snapping pretty easily, and it does not lock, so it does not lock. All right, so that was the Whirlwill. Next one is the Havenhurst. Havenhurst right here, same thing, same cheap little Tyvek case, you know, and these are the pliers here, a little thick, got a nice, it has a smooth finish on the outside. These were made in China. All right, pliers open up, does not have the exposed spring, is kind of a wide and closes, you can see I got the gap here. I would prefer something to close just a little bit more, but it's still tolerable. The pliers themselves seem nice. And this one does have my serrated edges, grip edges on the outside where they should be. So that's not too bad. It opens and closes all right. We'll get this knife blade out. Same thing, this kind of buried, they're kind of buried inside where you really have to kind of dig in there to get that out, but this one opens easy. This one opened really, really easy. The other one was a little stiff. This one feels kind of loose, and it doesn't have a small blade on it. And release on the back side, so it does lock, but the tools open and closes real easily and smoothly, so not too bad. All right, the next one is the Pohaku, and like I say, I'm probably butchering some of these names here. Oh yeah, this one here. The case is a little bit thicker than Tyvek. It's got like maybe a coating on a fabric, and then the Tyvek. Now this one here, this one has a hammer, and this is the only one with a hammer that I got. Just to check it out, it does have a nail puller, and it doesn't have much weight. I wouldn't say that you're not going to nail anything much more than a brad or a thumbtack with this, just because of the weight. You're not going to, but of course you're not looking to pound 2x4s, but if you need to pound some small nails or something like that, it'd probably be just fine here. Let's see, there's a lock and an unlock here. All right, unlock button right here. All right, so you flip it up, handle comes out, and now you have your pair of pliers. Your hammer becomes a pair of pliers and has a notch here for gripping round objects, and then you have the teeth up here for gripping other things. And this one fits in your hand well. It closes. I think it's a little too tight, but a smaller hand, this would fit all right. But it's going to be kind of hard you're not going to get a lot of grip strength with this type of handle. This is almost like a paper punch handle type deal, but it is interesting that they split the hammer in half to make the pliers. So that's not too bad. All right, you got your tools that pull out here. The knife blade is a little bit larger than the others. It almost has like a drop point. The sharpness, not real good, but it's not too bad. And you do have a lock here. The lock is right here. You can see it. So the blade does lock. So that is the Pohaku. Now this is a Work Pro. This is a Tyvek type case, but it's rigid, so it's got a little room to it here. You have a belt clip, so pack it on. You got a clip, or you got to attach it to your vest, or if you wanted something that you wanted to keep handy, this is nice having that little clip right there. So we will open this thing up here. Really stiff to open. All right. Now, this handle is much thicker than this handle. So it feels a little bit off. It's not much thicker. It's a little bit thicker. It closes decently. But I don't like, you see that right there? Let's see if I can focus in that. You see that? That's the gap on the pliers. The blade makes contact before the pliers. So I'm thinking that over time you would probably wear your wire cutter blade down here, trying to use these as pliers. So that's kind of a, I say that's kind of a minus there. It's pretty stiff to open and close. Some people like the stiffness, some don't. The blade is a decent size. I like a decent sized blade. It does have like this drop point on there, and it feels fairly sharp, but the overall construction of this is pretty light. You do have the tab lock here for the blade. So that is the Work Pro version right there. The next one is the Weevu Goo. Let me tell you something. These names here, I'm not real good with these here. I believe it was this one right here. Yes, it's the Weevu Goo. Really thin, papery Tyvek case. These have kind of like an orange anodized side to them. It opens fairly easily. You do have the serrations on the outside where you get that grip. Has a spring exposed there. I think that's a minus, but pliers, they stick closed. You see that? I have to kind of nudge it to open it, and that would probably loosen up with use, but it fits in the hand. The closure's not bad, so we won't count too much on that. And then I will open the knife blade here so we can get a look at that. All right, little knife blade here, and does not lock. I prefer a locking knife blade. I would rather have a blade. It's a real thin one here, and I would rather have a blade that locks open. I don't want it folding in on my hand when I'm using it. So that was the Weevu Goo, and that was actually, this is one of the cheapest ones that were out there. Now the last one I have is the Amazon Basics, and it has another canvas like Tyvek case here. Red handle. Does have the hook, the keeper hook here, so that's always a plus, especially if you're in a kayak or you're camping, throw it on your pack, carry hiking. Or if you've got it in your kayak, you'll clip it on your vest here. It's got a, oh, did you hear that? It got a click, so it like locks into position. That I like that. That's a decent little plus there. It fits in the hand decently. Closes good. So you have, see how my hand is closed now? I get a good grip on that right there. I like one where my fingers close like that, because the more you close your hand, the tighter the grip and the more force you have when you go to use it. So that's not too bad, and I do like that. It clicks. It clicks open and close, so that felt pretty good. I didn't feel that from any of the others. And we'll open up the knife blade here. And then another one with a drop point. Doesn't feel too bad. It does lock into position, so that's a plus. It has the tab lock here. So, and that was the Amazon Basics here. So, this is what we've had. I've gone over the 11 tools here and rated them. And as far as the ones that I like, I would say I do like the German, European-made ones here. They're a little heavy, but they have a good solid feel to them. I do like those right there. And I believe it was the Bovero. No, it wasn't a Bovero. Yeah, this one I didn't like because you have the serrations here. But when you open your pliers, oh, that was on the outside. Never mind. This one wasn't too bad either. And I don't know that any of these is a clear winner for me, because normally I carry my Gerber. I have an old Gerber. This one is, I have an old Gerber. This is one of the ones I carry. This thing here is probably 25 years old. I've had this forever. This was one of the early models that came out, and I've carried this for years. And I have a couple of the other older brands too that I carry around. But anyway, but this is just for a budget deal here, and I will put the prices in here. And everything here went from $9.99 on Amazon to there was one that was $19.99, the most expensive, and I will list all the prices in here so you can make your judgment and pick the ones that you like. And the bad things that I saw, the things that I didn't like, was if it does not have a locking blade. I'm gonna say I don't care for that. I want my blades to lock. I want those serrated gripping edges on the outside of the plier where they should be. And the locking blade, I don't like the exposed spring either. So, all right, well, I just wanted to cover these here, and hopefully you can find you a bargain for your hiking, camping. Throw it in your glove box, throw it in your boat. Don't worry about it. If they get wet, they ruin. You drop it over the side, you're not out a bunch of money. 10, 15 bucks. Multi-tool, carry in the boat, carry in the truck, carry on your backpack. All righty. Hey, I'll put the prices down below. Please like, subscribe, and share. Y'all have a great day.